everybody, welcome to our Posse Empowerment YouTube channel. Today we're going to be interviewing a software engineer, but before we get started, I just wanted to remind you all to please social distance, wash your hands, and most importantly, listen to your health professionals as they've researched and they've studied their fields, their respective fields, so they know what they're talking about. But without further ado, we can get started.
All right, so today we have here Miss Dominique Meeks of Gombe, and she's going to go ahead and introduce herself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Dominique Meeks Gombe, and I am a software engineer at Capital One. A little bit about myself is that I was born in New York, grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I played sports all through high school and went to collegiate in Richmond, but I went to Harvard College in Pennsylvania, and where I studied chemistry and biochemistry, and graduated in 2013, where I started, I started interning my sophomore year of college, but I worked in chemistry lab after school, and it's there where I started coding and fell in love with it and changed my career path from becoming a doctor to becoming a software engineer, and have not looked back since.
So firstly, Miss Dominique, what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a software engineer. That basically just means that I write code to create software. And you might think of software as an app or a website, pretty much anything that you do on your computer or phone or a tablet.
Alrighty. And why are software engineers necessary for the world to go round?
Yeah, I think now more than ever, especially with social distancing, being able to interact with our friends and family through virtually is crucial. And these technologies would not be available to us if we didn't have engineers.
I like that response. So this is a little more personal question. Why did you decide to become a software engineer?
Question. So like I mentioned before, when I was working at the chemistry lab, I started teaching myself how to code. And that came because there were different processes that were pretty inefficient. And so I was trying to make my job easier. And then as I got further into it, it just seemed like the best way to solve problems, right? And the coolest thing that I think about technology or coding, and more specifically, is that you can have an idea in your mind, right? And then you write code to make that come to life. And so that transition, once my idea actually comes to life, in an app or a website, is super satisfying, right? Because I had this idea and now it's actually a real life thing.
That's very interesting. This one is almost kind of like a personal question, but have you experienced any bias in your field of work, whether it be past or present?
That's a good question. I think navigating the world as a Black woman, right? You definitely come across biases, and so I can't say that in my life I have not. But I do feel like my current role at Capital One has been the most diverse environment that I've been in corporately. I do think that technology, at least this field, tries to make a place for everyone to bring their full self to work, which is incredible. And I say all that, but I can't say that we've reached exactly, we've reached the goal, right? There's still room for improvement. We still need to make progress, but I do believe that this field is a lot further ahead than others. Did I answer your question? Okay.
All right, so this is the last question, Miss Dominique. Why do you think women should go in the field of STEAM?
Oh, that's a great question. So I've mentioned this right before, that technology is the way of the future, right? And we're always coming up with solutions for problems in our everyday life. So if women are not part of the problem solving, then the problems that women are facing are probably not going to get solved, right? Because if we're not part of that process, we're not solving our problems. So it's so important for young women, especially young women of color, to get into this field so that we are part of the future, right? Because if we're not there, if we're not at the table solving these problems, then we're going to continue to have the problems in the future.
Well, thank you, Miss Dominique, for all of your insight on becoming a software engineer and all the little nitty-gritty things about it. So let's change the narrative.
Yeah, let's change the narrative.
Let's change the narrative.